Welcome to a video from thedigital-lifestyle.com. In this video we're going to look at changes between Windows 10 and Windows 11. There's a lot of changes on the hood, but there's also a lot of visual changes. So in this video I'm mainly going to look at the visual changes that you'll see when you first upgrade to Windows 11 from Windows 10. So to do this, I'm running Windows 11 here on a Surface Laptop 2, and I've got a virtual machine using Hyper-V of a Windows 10 install, so I can actually show you the differences side by side. Well, of course, the most obvious thing is here in Windows 11 is the new Start menu and Taskbar at the bottom. Here is the new Taskbar. You see it's centered. If I bring up the Windows 10 one, it's up here on the left. In fact, the Start button's been on the left since Windows 95, and this is the first time we've seen it here in the center. We did see it with Windows 10X, but this is the first time it's been in a sort of production system. So yeah, of course, Start menu there in Windows 10, Start menu here in Windows 11. Microsoft says to put you in the center. I'm not quite sure, but that's the idea, that it's central on there. And of course, you'll notice as I go through this as well, is that all the square edges in Windows 10, like anything from File Explorer, the dialog boxes, Start menu, everything is square in Windows 10, whereas when you get to Windows 11, everything is curved. You've got curved edges on the screen. Even the Hyper-V screen there, you can see it's got curved edges. All the dialog boxes have curved edges. Start menu has curved edges, and that gives it, I think, that bit more modern look than the square edges. So we went to square sort of Windows 8, I think it would have been, and we're now on this nice curved look, which I think it does look better. It makes it look a bit more modern, and you'll see lots of examples of that all the way through the operating system. So like I said, the Start menu is now here at the start, and the taskbar, we'll look a bit more at the Start menu in a moment, but the taskbar here is centered. They've got rid of the big search box, and the Cortana button has gone, and the task switcher has changed. The recently introduced using interest bar has gone, and here you can see the icons. The tray icons are still there, but they're slightly different. So instead of the search box, you can search now directly here in the Start menu, or you can do the search button like that. And instead of the task switcher like that, which would just switch you to tasks like that, you've now got this new task switcher, which looks a lot better. But we'll come back to that in a second. So we'll focus on the taskbar at the bottom now. You can see again it's got rounded corners as we hover over the icons. For running applications, you see you've got the little embossed area, and then applications that are open but not active or in the foreground have got the dot on like that. So if I bring Explorer up, you see that's got the highlight on with the little bar underneath it, and then the dots show that they're open and I can switch to them, but they're not actually full screen. Whereas in Windows 10, they kind of have that bar across the bottom. You still get a highlight like that, but that's bar across the bottom. The more icons has also been curved as well. So that's the taskbar. Let's have a look at the Start menu next. So in Windows 10, you have what was called live tiles. So you'll see these rotate around and give information, like the weather one will change and show different images and sort of weather status. Most of them don't really do very much anymore. At one stage, they were all, the mail one would give you the latest mail, and they would give you information. The pictures would give you thumbnails of pictures. It kind of doesn't work like that anymore. They're more like shortcuts now. And so what Microsoft have done is they've got rid of those, simplified them, and now we've got this new Start menu where the pinned apps are there, and you can go to all apps on that list like that, and you can search for them. So you've still got the all apps that you had in Windows 10, but now they're in this all apps menu. And the other thing that you get here is this recommended section here, and this is linked up with your Microsoft account, and you can see it's recommending things that I've worked on this morning, and I can go to more and see more of those. I can see recent documents on there. So it's kind of a way for you to save you to have to dig into the application. You can go directly to it through the recommended. And you can customize this to a degree, not a massive amount, but you can customize this menu here. As you can see, I've added some shortcuts on here, so the downloads and things, and we can find those in settings, which we'll have a look a bit later in the video. So start menu, no live tiles, you can pin applications, and you've got the recommended, and you've got the power button and everything else there. So a big change. It is a lot simpler. I don't know how many people really use the start menu. I tend to use the search or desktop icons, and but this does appear a lot simpler as well. And I should say as well, you can still use icons. You can put icons on the desktop and launch applications from there. You can also pin them down here as well, so you can have them pinned to your taskbar, like I've got with the store or the snipping tool. You can go straight to those on there, just like you could in Windows 10. You could, in the past, you could drag icons around, which would pin them, or it would open the application, things like that. There's no drag and drop at all on the taskbar, so if you use that on the past, then that wouldn't happen. So at some time in the past I've used that. You could get a scene image, drag it to the image editor, and it would fire that up with that image, but that doesn't work anymore. So there's no dragging and dropping on the taskbar anymore. I also want to mention widgets as well. Widgets aren't available in Windows 10. It's a bit like that news and interest bar that was in Windows 10, but this is the widgets, which you can customize and choose your news sources, and it's got weather and that kind of thing. So really that replaces the news and interest bar that it had in Windows 11. Now, Action Center has been changed, so these are where the notifications come in. So here you can see the notifications again, all the curved icons on there, along with the calendar. Whereas if I go through on here, you see that it's this is Action Center in Windows 10. It's a lot more it's square and everything else, and you've no calendar icons on there or anything like that. You have got the notification, the Action Center here for turning things on and off, and Wi-Fi settings, and they're down here in Windows 11. So you can see you can adjust the volume, the brightness, you can set your VPN, just as you could in Windows 10, but it's in one location on here. I mentioned Alt Tab and task switching before. So as you can see in Windows 11, you've got two ways. You can do Alt Tab, which brings up the task switcher like that, and you can switch between them. And you have Windows Tab, which shows the desktop, and that's the same as the icon down the bottom here. So you can have virtual desktops, and you can see your apps from here. If I go back to Windows 10, you can see if I do Alt Tab, it's got the task switcher, and Windows Tab has looks like the task switcher, but on this is VM. It hasn't got very much on it, but it would have here your history, so you would see applications, previous applications on there as well. So sort of a long list of applications that you're going back in time. So that is gone now in Windows 11. But I actually think it's much cleaner than with the new way of working. And talking of windowing as well, you've got a lot of window options on here. You've got these options to split the windows, so you can choose your location. So I've got the maximize button, but I've also got these, so I can say I want this on this side, and then I can choose what I want on the other side like that, or I can change it and say I want to have it one on this side, and on this one I want to have, so I can have that one on there, and maybe task manager on there like that. So I've got sort of the quad or the multi-split view like that. So as you can see, you've got that sort of flexibility to use this button to select the windows, and that's just something Windows 10 didn't have at all. You just had the full screen or sort of minimized all of this medium view. Okay, there you can see the notifications coming in. This one is the one from Windows 11, nice and curved, and the one you saw there was the square Windows 10 style notification. So the next area that's changed quite a bit is in settings. So I go back to my virtual machine. So here's the old settings screen, and the first thing, if I go to the new one, you see that the layout has changed quite a bit. It does look a lot clearer, and if you got like an area like personalization, you can see the different personalization options. If you go to accounts, you'll see that those options. If I go to Windows Update, you see it all looks different, and there's actually additional settings in here as well as it looking different. I think that one of the things that's changed quite a bit is the sound settings. So here's the ones in Windows 10. You've got your input and output device and a volume meter, and then the advanced one where it lets you do some options. Here in Windows 11 you've got the same input output, but you've got the option of adding them from here. You've got like the mono ones, you've got you can go to the devices, and you've got the mixer as well. So the settings there's more settings in there, but now the only way to get to the very old control panel one is through that one there, which every now and again I do need to use, especially when I'm setting up audio streaming. So settings looks better, and they've got the animation. The animation is actually pretty much everywhere within Windows 11. How screens restore and that kind of thing, it does look a lot better and a lot smoother. Should also point out File Explorer actually has had a few changes to it. You can see the UI here is really different from the old one in Windows 10. So here you can see in Windows 10 you had it without the icons or with the toolbar like that, and here in Windows 11 a lot different. You've got the menu items like that, and you've got the new item button up there, and of course I mentioned before about the menus are different as well. Something I'll show you on this video is also that's interesting is when you put your machine with an additional monitor like a dock, then it remembers the layouts from the previous time you had that, so rather than just keep moving things around. So when on Windows 10, when you disconnect this external monitor, things all move back to your main screen, and then when you plug the monitor in, they're still on the main screen, but with Windows 11 it remembers where you were. Now, one thing I didn't show before, which I should have shown, is the menus are all different. So if I right click on the desktop here, you'll see the modern menu, and if you do the more options you get the old menu. So it has some things that are easier to get at, but some things you've got to then go to that Shift F10. It's especially, you'll see it on when you go on say a file. So I right click on a file, you'll see I've got the cut, copy and paste icons, the delete, the share icons, and then I've got the open and that kind of thing, and then the more options would show you any of the old ones like restore, the send to, and those kind of things. So some would say it's an extra menu click, but it makes things simpler for a user perhaps if you've got those on there. So if I go back to Windows 10, you can see the old style menu, and Windows 11 new style menu. So it's an improvement for simplification, I think, and it does definitely look better. You've got that sort of translucent effect on there as well. The next thing we'll look at is the Microsoft Store. In Windows 11 it's had a bit of a change, it's got a new look and feel. So this is the start page of the store. If I go back to my virtual machine here, you can see the old Windows 10 version. In Windows 10 you could go and have a look at downloads and updates there. As in Windows 11 you've got this nice library view here, and you've got it split between apps, games, movies and TV. So here you can see, I've got a lot of updates pending on this machine. I can get updates, and you can see the apps that get updated. But I think what probably Microsoft will want to to show you is the new sort of look. It looks better when you browse in the store. Certainly you can find things easier, and then when you go into the applications or the media or whatever, let's open an application. It should be a lot clearer, the information about the applications in there when you go into them. So it's got that new sort of look to it with the reviews, and you've got the access to it. So it puts the content in focus a bit better, I think, as well. Like I said, you've got access to your library where you can see your updates, and I better get my updates running. But you can see it through your recently updated applications, and you can open them through there as well. So I think that's the store certainly looks better, especially when you first hit the home page. I think it's much more dynamic than the sort of the old Windows 10 version. Also, there's some extra things in the store that you won't find under Windows 10. I think, for example, Microsoft Power Toys are in there. Which there you can see we've got Power Toys are in there. I think we can also find Visual Studio. You can find that in the store. So there's more applications in the store as well. And talking of apps, quite a lot of the apps have been updated. Talking of apps, quite a lot of the apps that ship with Windows 11 have been updated. Things like apps like the snipping tool. Right, I've got it. I use this all the time actually. So the snipping tool and snip and sketch have been kind of combined, and this is the new snipping tool. You know, so it's got the new look. We've got the options that you would get on the old snipping tool and the old snip and sketch, and they've been combined into one application. And quite a few of the Windows 11 apps have been updated like that. They've got sort of rounded corners and sort of the new Windows 11 style look, and this makes things simpler because you've only got one snipping tool. Another app that's changed is the clock. I've loaded the clock up here, and it's got something called Focus Sessions. And so Focus Sessions, the idea behind that, and you link it with your Spotify account, which is what I've done here, and you can say, right, I want to focus now for 30 minutes. It puts it into the focus assist mode, or the focus mode, so that you don't get notifications and things like that, apart from the ones that you've got under sort of your urgent and your priority rules. And you can link it with your tasks, link it with Microsoft To Do, and choose your playlist while you're working, and then work. So say you want to get something done, you want to set yourself a task to do it for 30 minutes, so you can start the session. It kind of stops all your interruptions and notifications, and you say link it with your tasks, and you get your music playing in the background. So it's something new, but it's good to see that Microsoft looking at productivity improvements like that and linking with third-party services. You can see here as well some of the apps like Notepad have got new icons as well. So they're not really changed that much, but they have got new icons. There are also some other apps being updated, like the Photos app that's got a slightly modified look and feel. Currently, I haven't got that. Currently, that's not available. I'm just running this on a Windows Insider beta build, and it's not been released yet for the beta channel, but that should be coming soon. And it's just got a nice little few enhancements with that, so I'll do a separate video of that when that's available. Another thing that's changed with Windows 11 is the minimum system requirements to actually upgrade to Windows 11. So while Windows 11 is a free upgrade, it's not necessarily a case where you could upgrade directly from Windows 10 to Windows 11. For that, you need to meet the minimum requirements. Microsoft have a tool called PC Health Checker, which you can use to check your machine. Obviously this machine will work because I'm on Windows 11 already. The minimum requirements are 4 gigs of RAM, a dual core processor, and a very specific list of processors, actually 8th gen Intel and so on. Microsoft have a good link with all the details which you can get from Microsoft's website, and I'll include a link on the post on thedigital-lifestyle.com. So there's actually quite a few requirements that you need to fulfill. But the way to check it is you can find out in Windows Update. So as you can see here, Windows Update, it's telling me my PC doesn't meet the requirements. This virtual machine has only got 1 gig of RAM. That'd be one of the reasons. And like I said, you've got to have Trusted Platform module, which you can do through virtual machine. So virtual machine will run Windows 11 fine. On Hyper-V, I've got one that runs no problem at all. But like I said, if you go to Windows Update and check for updates and you see this says it isn't supported, get the PC Health Checker and it'll tell you why. If you meet the requirements, then you'll be able to install Windows 11. Windows 11 is coming out October 5th, but it won't be available straight away on everybody's machines. Microsoft are going through a phased rollout, so I think if you've got a device like a recent Surface, then you'll see the thing to say download and install Windows 11. If you've got an older device that they haven't validated yet, you might not see the option. There are other options as well, like using the media creation tool from Microsoft, but the best way is to wait till your machine sets to Windows Update. But like I said, if you really want it, there are ways around that as well. So that's all the changes that I'm going to show with this between Windows 11 and Windows 10. There is a lot more, and I'm sure I've missed something that you probably think is really important, and you can leave it in the comments. I'm mainly looking at the visual stuff. There's a lot of under-hood stuff. Certainly I think it performs better on my devices I've tested on than Windows 10 does, so I think there's some performance improvements, but maybe not for everybody and not every hardware combination. But I certainly like using it. Microsoft Edge works great. I like the widgets. For tablet users is better than Windows 10, maybe not as good as Windows 8, but it certainly is better. And I've got a separate video on Windows 11 on the tablets, running on tablets, which you can check out as well. There may be some more app updates come out as Microsoft continue development of Windows 11, and I'll bring those on my regular Windows 11 build videos, which you can find on our YouTube channel. So thanks for watching this video. Any comments, leave them in, any feedback, leave them in the comments on the video, or you can catch me on Twitter @ISDixon. I'll see you on the next video.